Hello students, I hope you all are fine today. I am Shweta Srivastav from Vidya Bal Bhavan Senior Secondary School is going to teach you an important topic, and today's topic is living organism, their habitats and adaptation. Yes, we will learn about the habitats and adaptation of living organism, but before that we should know what you mean by habitat and adaptation. Habitat is generally the home of any plant or animal. You are living in your home, you are sitting in your home and watching this video. So, the place you are doing your work, sitting comfortably and protecting yourself from the outside environment. Like nowadays, you are being protected by the outside pollution. So you have a home to reside, you have a home to do all your activities. So that is your habitat. Similarly, plants also have a similar, some kinds of habitat as well as the animals also. The home of any plants or animals is known as its habitat and adaptation. What do you mean by adaptation? When we, for example, I have already given this example in class, but I'll repeat that. Like you are living here, but you will visit to any other place for vacation. So the environment is little bit changed there. One day, today you will face a problem, some kind of issues in your bodies, like you are not adapted to that environment. You are living here comfortably, but you will not live there comfortably for few days because your body will adapt to such kind of different environment. So that is adaptation, the special features or characteristics that helps the organism to live in any kind of environment comfortably so that they can do their work. So that features or characteristics that see the main target is to live there comfortably. So in order to do that, they have some changes in their body or they have some modification in their body. That is known as adaptation. So let us start with the habitat. We have two kinds of habitat. First one is the terrestrial habitat and the next one is your aquatic habitat. Terrestrial habitat. What do you mean by terrestrial habitat? Terrestrial habitat means the habitat that is present on land areas. All the habitat that is present in land are known as terrestrial habitat. And the next one is the aquatic habitat. All the kinds of habitat that is on water is known as the aquatic habitat. Let us start the different kinds of terrestrial habitat. Yes, we have different kinds of land habitat. You can say that also. For example, we have the desert habitat, we have the mountain habitat, we have the forest habitat, we have the polar habitat, we have the grassland habitat. So there are numerous kinds of terrestrial habitat also. But one by one we will see them, what are the specialty of those habitats and what kind of plants and animals live there. Okay, let us start with desert habitat. As you know, what is the weather condition in desert? They are generally very dry and barren. They do not have much plants, they do not have much animals also. Many deserts have a very limited amount of all such things. Why? Because the atmosphere is very hot there, the atmosphere is very dry there. So why it is so? Because the temperature is high, due to which their soils are also, they are the sandy soil which cannot hold much water, and the plants are also like that only, which can adapt in that kind of environment. Let us see one by one. In desert habitat, we will see what kind of plants resides there. First one point is modified leaves, soft and fleshy leaves. Yes, for example, cactus plant. You have seen cactus plant? Yes, those cactus plants have the modified leaves. They do not have the branch, the stems as well as the leaves. They have only one structure, that their stems are modified into leaves. And what kind of soft and fleshy stems they have? They have, why they have soft and fleshy stems? So that they cannot lose much water and they can store it, as they know the availability of water is very less there. So in order to store that water, they should have all such kinds of features. Next one is stems are green. Why? As the leaves are not there, the leaves are only the stems. So how do they will grow without the photosynthesis is essential for every plant, and they do not have, and photosynthesis is carried by leaves, and they do not have leaves like we are saying, but the stems are modified into leaves, and that is of green color only, and those green color stems perform the photosynthesis. So in that case, stems are green in cactus plant. Next one is stems have thick waxy layer. Yes, they have thick waxy layer. Why? To avoid the loss of water through transpiration. As you know, the transpiration, that is the removal of extra water. So they have generally the waxy layers, and their roots are very deep. They know that they do not get much water afterwards also. So they dig in the water from the very inside of the earth, so that they can store it for further use in future. So all these are the plants characteristics in desert plants. How they are, we have already seen. Next one is our animals. What are the features of animals? Let us see that. They avoid being in doubt in the day. Yes, as I already told you, the temperature is very high there, so they generally do not come out in the daytime. They come out mostly in the night time to carry out all the process they want to for the survival. For example, we have the kangaroo rats, we have other snakes also, rattlesnakes, those who lives in the desert, and they come out outside of the deserts. They come out outside of the deserts in the night time only. In the daytime, they generally live in burrows. Yes, as you can see here, I have written they live in the burrows in the daytime to avoid all the extreme heat present in the desert. Next one, they are adapted to drink less water. Yes, they are adapted because they know the availability of water is not much. So their body is generally adapted so that they can survive easily with the presence of the less water also. Next one more very common, who is known as the ship of the desert, you know that, camel. Yes. Why he is known as the ship of the desert? Because he is commonly found in desert areas. But what are the features? You would have ever wondered why camel is only able to live there? Because they have certain kind of special features will help them to reside in the desert areas. One such adaptations are humps, eyelashes. They have a hump that can store fat, and whenever they need the fat in their body, that breaks down and gives them energy. So their hump is used to store the fat. They have a long eyelashes. Yes, they have a long eyelashes, so that the sand which is being always in the windy desert, they always flow here and there, they do not go in their eyes. So they have a long eyelashes to protect them from all those kinds of sand. They store water. Yes, they even drink less water and store it also whenever they drink, so that they can use it. Even they urinate less. Why? Because they know the loss of water can happen anytime in their body. So whenever they are doing that, they are doing in a limited amount, but they store water. Their body, long legs. Yes, as the temperature is very high, they have a long legs to protect themselves from the extreme heat. Okay, and the next feature is their broad feet. Yes, they have a broad feet, not the pointed one, because the pointed one feet can easily get them inside of the sand very easily. So they have a broad feet so that they can comfortably walk in the desert areas. Okay, so this is all about the plants and animals features of desert habitat. You can say it is an adaptation formed by the plants and animals in desert habitat. Now we will see what are the next habitat, that is mountain habitat. Yes, what is you can easily guess what is the climatic condition in mountain. They are generally cold and it snows in the winter season. So from that, according to the climate, the plants and animals are also adapted like it. For example, in the the plants of mountain regions, they are tall and straight and cone shaped. Tall and straight, why? Because if they will bend in the mountain areas, they will fall automatically. So they need to be straight and tall. cone shape. Why they are cone shape? As I already told you, in the winter times the snowfall happens, so that snowfall, the snow can easily slide away. As you know, the cone shape, it is like this type, so that the snow can easily slide away from their plants. So that's why they have the cone shape structure. Next one is their needle shaped waxy coating. Yes, needle shaped waxy coating means, of course, the water is also not much available there, so their leaves, their plant structure is needle shaped, so that to avoid the extra loss of water, they have a needle shaped structure. Waxy coating, again the reason is same. Waxy coating means that disallow the loss of extra water, so in that case they have a waxy coating. This the plants of mountain region, they do not have flower, or very less, because flowers are very sensitive. It cannot reside in such extreme weather conditions, so they have no flowers. Instead they have only seeds. So in mountain regions they do not have flowers, only seeds. And now it is all about the plant. Now we will see about the animals. Of course, I already told you, there is a winter, the extreme weather, cold weather condition, the plants, the animals should also be like that. They can easily adapt to all such kind of extreme cold weathers. So for example, yak, as you can see, yak is commonly found in mountain region. What are those their features that helps them to reside there, live comfortably there? They have a long hair, large heart and lungs. Yes, long hair protect them from the extreme cold, and since one more point is there, in mountain region the oxygen level is very low. So all animals and plants should be adapted that such kind that they can easily live in their limited supply of oxygen. It is not like in our land areas, like we have sufficient supply, but there the oxygen level is low, so they have a large heart and lungs to store the oxygen for longer time, and they can easily live there, survive there. Okay, now the next one is coat. What are the features of coats that helps them? Again, they have a long hair and two coat fur. Yes, they have a even fat under their the thick layer of fat under their skin. Why? Because they forms an coating or a barrier between the outside environment and their body heat. The less the body heat they will lose in the environment, the less cold they will feel. So that's why they have a thick coat fur in their body, so that they will not feel cold again and again. Now the next one and very important point, they have hooves on their legs. What do you mean by hooves? Hooves means they have edges inside, that are long pointed edges, so that they can hold the mountain very easily. Yes, while climbing they have to hold themselves very firmly, very goodly, so that they will not slide off from the mountain. So that's why the goats have a strong hooves in their body parts, so that they on their legs, of course their legs, so that they will not slide away while climbing in the mountain region. So this is all about the desert and the mountain habitats. So our next habitat is polar habitat. Yes, as you already know that what are climatic condition of polar habitat. The weather is very cold here, extremely cold weather is here. So the plants and animals here are adapted to such kind of extreme cold. So our first one is plant. How plants are structured or here. First one, the plants here are very small. Yes, they have a small height, even like you can say the category of shrubs like moss, lichens, they all have the small leaves as well as the small height, because the snowfall is always there, so it becomes very, like all of the year, most of the year the snowfall is there. It becomes very difficult for the plant to survive in such condition. So that's why they have a small plants, small leaves. They grow under the layer of snow. Even some plants grow under the layer of snow. Yes, under the icy temperature condition, like in extreme cold temperature, they are adapted in such way that they can easily live under the snow also. And some flowering plants, they blossoms, they give the flowers in the summer season. When the summer comes, they blossom at that time, but in winter season they are usually under the snow. The plants have adapted like this type, for example moss and lichens. And next adaptation is of animals. How animals are adapted in the polar region. Animals, the name itself, the polar bear got this name because it is usually found in polar region only. So are the main animals found here are the polar bears. How polar bears are able to live there, to survive there? We will see that. They have a thick fur and fat. Yes. I already told you where the conditions where there is extreme cold. The animals generally have the thick fur, the thick layer under their skin. One thing is the thick hairs, so that the outside environment cannot hamper them or cannot disturb them. Or the thick fat is also one such kind. The thick fats helps them to keep their body warm. So they have a thick fat and keen sense of smell. Yes. First of all, polar bear are white so that they can easily hide behind the eyes. In eyes are also white and polar bears are white so that they can easily catch their prey. Yes, they also want the food. For that they need some specific kind of adaptation. That's what we are talking about. The adaptation is like this only. They have a very strong sense of smell so that they can easily smell where their prey is and catch them and eat them. Next one is their thick fat, which I already told you. They are also known as blubber. They are also known as blubber. Those thick fats are known as that protects them from the extreme cold. Now the animals like walrus have flippers. Flippers means they are like this. They have the flippers helps them to swim even in the water. Yes, to travel in the polar region from water only they can travel from one place to another. So they have flippers to do that. So it is all about the plants and animals, how plants are adapted and how animals are adapted in the extreme cold conditions in polar region. And next one is the forest habitat. Yes, forest habitat, the name itself says there are so many trees present here. So the forest habitat, first of all we will see what are the different kinds of habitats or the forest we have. We have three types of main forest habitat. There are three types of region where the forests are differently arranged. The first one is our temperate forest. Yes, temperate forests have extreme climate. Yes, they are very warm in the daytime and very cold in the night time. The trees are broad flat leaves like maple tree or tree. They shed in the leaves in the winters. Yes, the extreme weather condition, the extreme climate due to which the trees are broad and flat leaves. They are broad and flat leaves here. For example, maple tree, oak tree, and these two trees shed their leaves in the winter times, and then again in the summer time they again comes. The leaves comes in their trees. So this is the temperate forest. Next one is a temperate forest are also known as the deciduous forest. Yes, they are also known as the deciduous forest. Now next one is a tropical forest. Hot and wet near equator, more rainfall. Yes, I have written the 3 points and I'll explain that. They are wet. Why? Because they receive the rainfall almost whole year. That's why they are very green also, because they receive the water for the whole throughout the whole year. That's why they are hot and they are present nearly the equator. The best example is the Amazon forest. Yes, the Amazon forest, the plants are thick. The plants are thick. I already told you why plants are thick, because they receive the rainfall for the whole year. That's why they are very thick and they are very like it is like a caves of trees present there, because they are very receiving the rainfall in that time. So it is also known as the evergreen forest also, the tropical forest, the rain forest you can say. The rain forest is their actual name because they receive the rain for the whole year. The boreal forest, the third one is our boreal forest. Very cold, yes. Boreal forests are very cold. Even the temperature are below 0 degree for almost a time. Their temperature is below 0 degree. They have a needle shape leaves. Yes, needle shape. Why? So that the snow, I already told you this is cold, so snowfall must be there. So snow can easily slide off from their parts. That's why they are a needle shape, and extra loss of water will not be there. Their extra loss of water will not be there. Coniferous, the trees are known as coniferous, and for example spruce and fir. These are the examples of the boreal forest. So this is the three types of forest habitat that we have. Now we will see what are the adaptation of plants and animals in this kind of regions, in this kinds of forest. So we have already seen the types of forest. Now we will see what are the kinds of plants and animals lives in these types of forest. First of all, we will see in temperate forest what are the kinds of trees. They are normally, as I already told you, the temperate forests are also known as deciduous forest. Yes, and those trees which are found in these areas are known as the deciduous trees. They have a thin and broad leaves. Their leaves are thin and broad. Normally in summer season, in winter season they shed off their leaves. Okay, so they have a, next one is their thick bark. Yes, they have a thick bark to prevent the loss of water. Yes, to prevent the loss of water, they have their bark are thick because the water loss happens from the bark areas also. So to conserve those water, they have a thick bark. Okay. Now the next one is the rainforest. As I already told you, the rainfall is for almost all the year. So they have a tips. Yes, drip tips means the water can easily slide off from their tip, so that they will not be retained in those areas because it will damage the leaves. So it should slide away easily and should not destroy the plants. Next one is a climbing vines. Yes, climbing vines means they generally climb the other plant. Why they climb? To get the sunlight. Yes, to get the sunlight, they climb normally with the other plant, take the support of other plant so that they will get the sunlight. Orchids. They have the next example in this rainforest is the orchid, where we have a aerial roots. Yes, aerial roots means the roots which are in the air, which are not under the area, under the soil, you can say. Yes, say they have a aerial root so that they can climb on other, they can support of other plants and take their nutrition from them. So they have a aerial roots. Now the next one is a boreal forest. In boreal forest, the trees, since I told you the boreal forests have a cold temperature, so their trees are the cone shaped so that the snow can easily slides off from those forests. And they are the trees are evergreen. Yes, evergreen trees means they do not shed off in winters, they are not in only in summers. They are generally for most of the year in evergreen forest. Okay, so this is all about the plants in the forest habitat. Now how animals adapt in forest habitat. As we have three categories of forest, so three categories of animal adaptation will also be there. In temperate forest, the animals usually hibernate or migrate. Yes, hibernate means the period of reduced inactivity or no activity at all. Yes, some animals in winters they generally hide at one place or go for a longer sleep. Longer sleep as for month sleeps. So they usually go there in the longer sleep region. They generally sleeps for the longer period of time to avoid all the harsh condition of the environment. They generally go for a sleep. So they hibernate or migrate, or some animals do the hibernation, they sleep for longer time. For example, you can say the sloths are there, they hibernate in the winter season, and many more animals are there. And migrates, some usually migrate, some stores the food like squirrels, they stores the food for those seasons, the winter seasons. So in such conditions they have their own ways of escaping the harsh environment. Okay. Next one is a rainforest. In rainforest, the features of animals are camouflage. Camouflage, I already told you about this. Camouflage is the way of protecting themselves from the predators by changing their colors, by changing their body structures. Yes, so camouflage, and one more is there, mimicry. What do you mean by mimicry? Anyone? Mimicry is normally the adaptation the animal shows. Adaptation the animal shows to avoid or to escape from certain kinds of animals. They generally makes the body structure like them. For example, a grasshopper. A kind of grasshopper is there who immediately behaves like a wasp, sticky wasp, so that they can easily escape from their predators. So they usually take the shape or any kind of features of other animals so that they can escape from their predators. Now the next one is our boreal forest. Boreal forest, the animals, I already told you the cold weather, so they have a thick layer of fur, which we have already told. Where there is cold weather, you will usually see the animals have a very thick layers so that they can easily protect themselves from the extreme cold. Okay, so these are the features of the plants and animals. If you are getting somewhat confused, you can pause this video and again watch it, or you can watch it in less speed so that it will be easy for you, and for better understanding you can also make the notes for them. Okay, now our next one and the last habitat of terrestrial is our grassland habitat. As the name suggests, grassland habitats have most of the grasses. Only grasses are there, but what kind of grasses? This is not the normal grasses we are seeing here. The grassland habitats have a deep rooted grasses. Yes, deep spreading grasses are there. And what is the use of deep spreading grasses here? Normally, beta, if there is any forest fire or any overgrazing problem, the roots will still be intact inside the soil as they are deep. So, in that case, whether they are being damaged by the external environment, the roots are still intact there. And if roots are intact there, they can again grow into different kinds of grasses. So they forest and overgrazing no effect at all at grassland habitat. In normal grasses, if we will burn them, overgraze them, they will destroy. But not in grassland habitat. They have a generally long, deep roots. So in that case, what happens? They generally have that deep roots helps them to come again another time so that they can easily escape or easily grow again. Okay. Some bend in wind, yes, they will not break in wind conditions. They simply bend down, and when the conditions are favorable, they will again stand up. So grasses, in total, the grasses are intact here. They are not destroyed easily in this. That's why they have so many grasses here. Okay, this is all about the plants. Now we'll see the animals. What are the types of animals in grassland habitat? Normally the animals like deer and zebras are found here, and everyone has their specific adaptation according to the environment. The deers and zebras, they run fast. Yes. Why they run fast? To escape from the predators. Yes. To avoid being hunted by the big animals like lions, tigers. So to escape from them, they run very fast in the danger situations. Now they are mostly herbivores. Of course, the kind of food they are getting here are grasses, and they eat that. So and we have seen the food chain also. So they eat the grass, but lions and tigers eat them. That's how the whole ecosystem or the whole food chain in grassland habitat happens. So they are generally herbivores since they eat the zebras and deers since they eat the grasses only there. Jackrabbits use tall grass. Yes, these jackrabbits, they use tall grass. Why they are using that? To escape again from the predators. So they use the tall grasses to escape from them. The reptiles, some reptiles, snakes, they uses the burrows to hide themselves in those environment. Yes, to hide themselves, or from the extreme heat, they can easily escape or hide in the burrows, make the burrows and hide there for longer time. Now, The predators here are lions, and lions have special features to hunt their animals, while the prey like deers have a special features to escape from those predators. The nature has given each one of them to survive in this planet. And what are the several features? For example, the lions, they can easily hide since they have stripes. Since some tigers have stripes, the lions have are the of brown color. They can easily hide and then catch their prey. They have a strong claws so that they can easily catch them. They have a strong teeth that can easily tear their food. So these are the features of the predators. But what are the features of deers? To protect themselves, they have a stripes again. They run fast and they can easily. One more feature of deer is there. They have eyes on the side of their like head. Why? So that they can easily see from where side the lions are coming. Their angles are more wider. While the lions have a straight eyes, the eyes on straight away there, so that they can easily have a target of their prey. While the deers have the side eyes, so that they easily see from where the lion is coming. So as I told you, the nature is giving them separate features to help them to live in this environment, to survive in their environment. Okay, to either to catch the prey or to protect themselves. Okay, so this is the features. Now we have already learned about the terrestrial habitat. We will move to the aquatic habitat. So let us start with the aquatic habitat. We have till now studied about the terrestrial. Now we will start with the aquatic. First of all, aquatic habitat includes the habitat which is present in the water. But water are of different kinds. There is fresh water, there is salt water. Freshwater habitat includes the rivers, ponds, lakes, while the marine or the salt water includes the ocean water. So, since we have different kinds of water, different types of life exist in those kinds of water, freshwater or marine water. But first of all, we will see what are the different features of plants that help them to live in the water. First one, plants tolerate salt water. Some live in coastal habitat while some live in open habitat. What do you mean by that? First of all, coastal habitat includes where the land meets the sea. As the habitat here is very shallow, they are not that much deep. So, some plants live in those kinds of habitat whilst there is an open habitat also. The open habitat means that is of the deep ocean water that contains only the ocean, no land is there present. So they have a different kinds of habitat. So some plants lives in coastal habitat while some lives in the open habitat. Some plants are able to tolerate the salt water while some are able to tolerate the normal water. They have a specific features of tolerating both the types of water. First of all, we have the mangrove trees. What is the features of the mangroves that help them to tolerate? They are found near the ocean, that is near the coastal areas. The mangrove trees are found near the coastal areas and they have aerial roots. Why they have aerial roots? To get the sunlight or to prepare for their food. They need the oxygen supply also. The oxygen is getting from the aerial roots. Since the soil is less there, the water availability is more, so they get the oxygen supply through these aerial roots that is present in the mangrove trees. The next category includes phytoplankton, okay, that is present in the open ocean water. Open ocean water, I already told you, they are the deep oceans that are present in open ocean water. They are near the water surface and they are present near the water surface only, and they have specific features of having the waxy coating in their plants so that the water doesn't affect them at all. Next one is our floating plants. The name itself says what are floating plants, that floats in the water. And what are the specific features? The best example for this is lotus plant. Yes, the lotus plants are known as the floating plants. Why they are able to float in those waters? They have a broad leaves that helps them to maintain the balance. They have a very less types of roots that can easily, the weights is very less, the roots are short so that they do not have much weight and they can easily float in water. Again they have a waxy coating so that they can, water doesn't affect them, because if water will come above them the weight will increase and they will drone down. So that's why they have a broad leaves and waxy coating. Also some other kinds of floating plants, not only the lotus plant, they have a stomata on the upper surface. Yes, stomata on the lower surface doesn't affect them, but it is very necessary to have the stomata. Why? Because they need the supply of oxygen and carbon dioxide regularly, and stomata helps in them. So floating plants have stomata on the upper surface, not on the lower surface of those plants, so that they can get the easy availability of oxygen and can survive in their environment easily. Okay, so these are the different kinds of plants that can easily reside in different kinds of environment. Okay, in even in the deep ocean you can easily see many kinds of plants, many kinds of trees that are present, and they are adapted to such kind of environment. Now the next one is the different kinds of animals that live in different kinds of environment, different kinds of water habitat. The first one is the very important and very common feature, that is streamlined body. Have you seen the shape of the ship? Fish. The fish shape is like this type. What is the streamlined body here? The streamlined body means their front portion and the back portion will be thin and the middle portion will be thick. Yes. Why this body is being made here? So that they can easily swim in the water. Yes, this streamlined body helps them to swim, stir and maintain the balance in the water. Yes, they have a flattened tail that can easily maintain the balance in their body. Fins, they have a fins so that they can easily change the direction here and there. They have a flippers to swim. They have a swim bladder that can obtain the oxygen. So this is a feature of a streamlined body which helps the fish to live in water easily. Yes, that's why they can easily live in water. The streamlined body is one of those important factors which helps many animals. Even some animals do not have the streamlined body, but when they swim, like some animals, when they swim in water, they take the shape of streamline. Yes, they actually take the shape of streamline to easily move inside the water, so that they do not have any problem to move or maintain the balance inside the water. Next one, another feature is their holes. Yes, blowholes of whales. Like whales have a blowholes. Why they have a blowholes? Because some animals cannot breathe inside the water, so they come near the surface of the water to breathe in. Yes, and those blowholes helps them to breathe in. The whales have the blowholes which helps them to breathe when they come near the surface area. Okay, and blubber I've already told you, they are the fat under the skin. So those blubber of the this aquatic animals helps them to keep warm. Yes, blubber main function is to keep warm, whether it is in any kind of outside environment or any kind of the inside water environment. So blubber in this kinds of animals helps them to keep warm. Yes. So this is all about the aquatic habitat, how the plants are adapted, while how the animals are adapted. Now today we have already learned about the terrestrial as well as aquatic life, and I hope you will also read out the books so that the full concept will be clear to you. Yes. For if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the class. Rather than, I hope you understand what we have covered today and what are the different features of different kinds of plants and animals to live in different types of habitat. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Bye students, have a very nice day. Thank you.